Family friend's last heroic action saved toddler, mother from k.nife-wielding man. Wilmington, Del. Swaddled in her mother's arms Tuesday afternoon, Kaydee Calhoun slept. Stitches crisscrossed the 18-month-old baby's shaved head, marking where a 9½ inch blade pierced her skull Easter Sunday, and Minnie Mouse dotted the child's pink pajamas. Late Tuesday afternoon she moved out of the intensive care unit at Nemours Alfred I. DuPont Hospital for Children and into a recovery room. Kaydee's prognosis is good, considering what she's been through, but friends and family say she and her mother, Connie Saunders, are alive because of Andrew Moore. "I want everyone to know Andrew always said he would be there to protect me and Kaydee," Saunders said, her daughter bundled against her chest inside the hospital. "And that's how he died, protecting us." The 24-year-old family friend was stabbed to death while attempting to fend off Kaydee Calhoun. Calhoun is the brother of Saunders' boyfriend and was staying at the Wilmington, Del, apartment where Saunders lives. Moore, man who blamed cold medicine after wife was murdered, was obsessed with American Psycho. Moore, "They will never be able to take her away from me." Father pleads guilty in 6-year-old stabbing death. Saunders said her boyfriend's brother has a history with addiction and she suspects he was high when he attacked them. Police have not released any information about the motive behind the stabbing. Moore and Saunders met in high school, where they quickly became friends over their talkative personalities and sense of humor. Moore had remained close with Saunders and was visiting her and her daughter on Sunday when Calhoun, 32, began acting strange, Saunders said. Moore suggested they leave the apartment Sunday evening, she said, and Saunders was dressing Kaydee in a jacket and shoes when Calhoun began trying to break through the bedroom door. Despite Moore's efforts to hold him off, Calhoun got a shoulder through the doorway and began stabbing Moore with a knife, Saunders said. At one point, Moore fell to the ground. Aj was terrified, Saunders recalled, but he kept fighting. Calhoun, wielding the knife, lunged for Saunders and her daughter, whom she was carrying in her arms, the mother said. When Saunders realized Calhoun was going for Kaydee, she covered the child's head with her hands, only to have the knife driven through her hand. Despite Moore's wounds on his head, neck and face, the man was able to force Calhoun out of the room and give Saunders a chance to escape with her daughter. She was able to get out the back door and flag down a passing car which took her to Wilmington Hospital. Moore, stabbing at church service in private home in Texas leaves one man dead. Moore, woman killed her 2 sons, 5 and 8, during voodoo ritual, authorities say. When they looked at Kaydee, they swore she wasn't going to make it, Saunders said quietly. Back at the house, Moore and Kaydee's grandmother continued to fight off Calhoun. Saunders was told that Moore knocked the knife out of Calhoun's hand and slid it under the couch, away from the men. Wilmington police arrived at the home to find Calhoun with superficial wounds to his hands and wrists, police said. He was taken into custody and has been charged with first-degree murder, 3 counts of attempted murder and possessing a weapon while committing a felony. Calhoun remains in custody at Young Correctional Institution in Wilmington. Moore, who was repeatedly stabbed, died later that night from his injuries. Kaydee's grandmother sustained a knife wound to her head, but survived. In his final moments, the grandmother told Moore that Saunders and Kaydee were able to escape from the house, Saunders recalled. For this news, Moore smiled, Saunders said. He was more than a friend, Saunders wrote on Facebook on Monday night. Now he is more than a brother. He is my hero, guardian angel. He lives inside of me and my daughter will know about her uncle risking his life to save ours. He always told me how he will protect me and Kaydee with his life, and bro, I never knew you meant it. The post accompanied a GoFundMe created by the family to honor Moore's life. Those looking to donate can do so online at the page Easter Sunday Hero. Though police have not identified those injured in the stabbing, family and friends have opened up about the tragedy that hit their family and the man who gave his life for them. He loved her, Saunders said, gazing down at her child whose hand rested on her mom's chest. He was always checking up on us, and if he wasn't checking up on me, he was checking up on her. He was so loving and so protective. On the GoFundMe page, Moore's cousin described Moore as brave, a man who literally gave his life for others. "I need the world to know Andrew Moore, Edge, and how he fought hard for them," wrote Rahnya Crawford in all capital letters. "He died from his injuries, but his life and legacy will live on forever." Crawford later wrote in an email to the Wilmington, Dell, News Journal that Moore was a loving person who lived life on his own terms. He was also a talented underground artist in Wilmington who made music and always had a smile on his face, she said. He always saw the bigger picture in any situation, and he loved his family more than anything. He died being Edge, a lover, a fighter and protector, Crawford wrote. "This loss will be carried deep in our hearts forever." Moore, second Slender Man stabbing defendant committed for 40 years. Moore, Slender Man stabbing defendant sentenced to mental hospital for 25 years. Other friends and family continued the outpouring of love and support for the family, calling Moore an example of what men in Wilmington should aspire to be. Many expressed deep appreciation, and no surprise, that in his final moments, he protected others. The poetic, handsome man who loved nature and soulful music, wanted nothing more than for people to be comfortable in who they are, and to share that with the rest of the world. "That's really what he was about," Saunders said, "being your true self." Now, she has vowed to help him live on in the lives of her friends, herself and her baby girl, Kaydee. Follow Brittany Horn on Twitter, @BrittanyHorn.